You guys, just a really quick intro here before the video begins. Two things. Number one, the audio is a little bit bad in this recording session. Not really sure what happened, but at some points you'll hear either the audio is either too loud or too soft. Really sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. We'll try to correct that before the next episode. And the second thing is our previous episode, the first episode, it did over 100 views. My first video to get over 100 views. I just want to say thank you to everybody who clicked it, everybody who watched it. Appreciate it to the world. You all don't understand how much it means to me. I hope this video could get over 200 views. We're aiming for 200 views. Who knows? If it falls short, it does. If it smashes, I hope it does. We'll see. But thank you once again, and let's get right into the video. This week in UFC,
Khabib shuts down Aldo's thoughts of a career resurgence.
Conor McGregor and Michael Bisping go back and forth on Twitter.
Diaz hints at a potential return in December.
Sean O'Malley wants to run down his UFC contract and to get a bigger deal.
And Cannonier defeats Gastelum via decision at this week's fight night.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Khabib, Aldo, tell me what's going on there.
Well, Jose Aldo was basically saying, he's having a lead career, or rather,
a renaissance. A career renaissance.
Yeah.
And
Khabib was quick to shut it down. We have a little clip where you should be seeing it on screen. Where
yeah, I'll try and throw it up now.
Khabib said he was basically saying, he beat Aldo, beat nobody in his last fights. He lost against the former bantamweight champion.
MPT Yan.
And he's not having a career resurgence. He beat nobody. And honestly, usually I'd ask you what your thoughts is on this, but I'll go first this time.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'll just say that Khabib is a nobody, though. Khabib he did nothing for the sport. He has two notable wins on his resume. He has Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. He beat a bum of a thing in Justin Gaethje, and then going on Mike Tyson podcast and saying, oh, he hits like a truck. He hits like a truck because Justin Gaethje is managed by his Rasafa manager Ali Abdelaziz. Khabib done nothing in this sport. He had what, 3 title defenses? Actually 2 title defenses, because he wasn't even champion when he beat McGregor. I consider McGregor champion because he didn't lose the belt. and everybody's saying, oh, Khabib is a goat. Khabib isn't a goat. He's not top 3. He's not top 5. Matter of fact, he's not even top 10. His career is just start with a bunch of people that had 8 losses and 4 wins, or 8 losses and 2 wins, up until about 22. So that is my take on that. And he shouldn't be anyone talking about people beating a nobody, because he's a nobody himself.
Well, boy, they're gonna come kill you on Twitter later. But yeah, I do think there is some truth to that. Like Khabib's 29-0 record is a little bit misleading, especially considering early in his career he did fight a bunch of guys with bad records and stuff. But I still do believe when it mattered the most, he was there. He beat McGregor, he beat Dustin Poirier, he beat a lot of big name guys. He got his championship fight, and he was the most, well, not the, I can't say the most dominant champion, but I think he lost one round in his career, and that was one of the rounds against McGregor. But other than that, he's looked dominant all around, even in his striking, on the ground especially. So I think he's a elite fighter. But we're not here to talk about him specifically. We're here to talk about what he said about Jose Aldo, and I think it was personally it was a bit out of line for Khabib. I wouldn't expect a guy like Khabib to say that in the first place, because I think, he's just in retirement. He kind of proved everything he needed to prove. So I don't understand why he's like, firing shots at Aldo, because, yeah, Aldo, he's on a pretty decent win streak. I know in his last fight, which was very recently, I believe at the last pay-per-view event, he got a win. So, yeah, I don't see why Jose Aldo can't say he's having a career renaissance right now. But
this is where I would disagree with you, because you said he beat some notable guys, and you listed the same 2 guys I listed. So the other 27 people, ain't really that important. And like I said, Justin Gaethje's a bomb of a thing.
okay.
He has a weak ass chin. So he beat nobody. He beat 27.
So he beat Conor McGregor. So Conor McGregor is nobody.
No,
We just said.
He has a notable win over. He had a notable win over Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, the other 27 guys. Bombs, nobody's.
I wish I had like Khabib's entire fight record in front of me right now because I know he has fought some other big names, but I don't have it at the top of my head right now. But yeah, that's just real outer line from Khabib. Speaking of Conor McGregor, you said he has a notable win over him. Conor McGregor and Michael Bisping. It's Michael Bisping this week. It was DC last week. It's Bisping this week. Who do you think it's gonna be next week? Because Conor McGregor seems to be firing shots at everybody on a weekly basis.
I feel like Conor McGregor is just wait until like the sun goes down to just pick up his phone and just go on Twitter and just I don't know. He's probably be bored or something, so he needs to buy him a PS5. But he was basically responding to something that Michael Bisping said about his beef with DC last week. And he basically said,
So it's the
you know,
continuation of the beef.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say a continuation because he didn't fire any shots at
DC.
DC this week, but like it stemmed from that beef. So, you know, they were basically talking, going back and forth, and Michael Bisping actually had a good comeback. He don't know what's getting deleted quicker. Connor's legacy or his tweet. I mean,
Conor man.
that's really what it is. I don't see it as anything more than like our banter, but what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I just see it as a little friendly banter as well because, like I said, McGregor he seems to be bored, and this is something I realized about McGregor. He needs fighting to keep his crazy self from bouncing off the walls and thing. When he went on that hiatus for 2 3 years, he was beating up old guys, smashing fans' phones. He was doing a bunch of madness. So he definitely needs fighting to keep him sane. And this long extended layoff he's currently on after the broken leg, he's I think this is gonna be like a regular thing with him just going on Twitter and just starting crap with everybody. But I don't think this one is as serious as the DC one was last week. I think this is more of like a friendly level rather than the DC one because the DC one last week, yeah, it didn't really seem that serious to me as compared to the DCB from last week. But yeah, you have any other final thoughts? What if in a hypothetical world, not DC, McGregor and Bisping were to fight? What do you think would happen in a hypothetical world?
Well, somebody actually made a kind of a meme about it, and they were like Battle of the Pirates, where Conor
Yeah,
McGregor has a broken leg,
and Michael
and
Bisping has
Michael
an
Bisping
eye.
has one eye. So, I mean, there's something I would like to see. I feel like that would be in like the age of super fights. Like if Bisping was still active and we were still in like 20, I'd say 2016, 17, 18, we would have seen that.
Yeah,
But right now, yeah,
they
like I
both
said
passed it.
earlier, it's just a bit of fun. So I feel like I don't think there's anything for fighters to take seriously.
Hmm. And
So yeah, and speaking of Conor McGregor, you mentioned he needs fighting to keep himself from bouncing off. We had some positive news about Conor McGregor for once in a good while. He was back training today. He had his that brace that he had on his broken leg. He got it taken off.
he was on the
He was
bike.
back on the bikes,
Yeah,
training. So
I'll try to
hopefully
throw.
his recovery goes well, and we see what happens.
Yeah, I'll try to throw a big clip of him on the bike if I could find it. But yeah, it's good to see him back, on the bike already, especially considering when that leg break was only 5 weeks ago. So yeah, like I said, when the leg break first happened, the only person who knows if Conor McGregor is gonna fight again is Conor McGregor, and based on the fact that he's already back on the bike in only 5 weeks, I'd say that's a pretty good sign. So that he's still motivated and he still wants to come back and fight.
Yeah, I think that's a good sign. And also, we talked about Jose Aldo earlier, and Jose Aldo also said that he was rooting for Conor, and he said he recovers well and becomes champion again. So it's good to see how that little rival kind of be put behind and both of them moving on and rooting for each other.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. But I mean, it's crazy because I feel like from Aldo's perspective, Aldo was like the king of the world for like 10 years, and McGregor just slapped him up in 15 seconds and kind of slapped him into irrelevancy until recently, to be honest. So yeah, but it's nice to see they're friends now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Speak.
we mentioned Nate Diaz earlier,
Mhm.
and he actually hinted on Instagram that he intends on returning in December.
Oh,
So
Christmas time.
we have his brother Nick fighting next month.
Yes, on UFC
Uh,
266, I believe,
yeah, and well, we have a lineup here. We
for
see
December.
that the
Yeah.
Kobe Usman fight would be in December.
Mhm. Yeah, because that'll probably
So
be the main event. Because who else is Usman gonna fight in that welterweight division? Because he's been clearing out house recently.
yeah, I think the Usman Kobe fight in the works right now. I'm hoping that it gets announced soon. And well, if it gets announced soon, and Nate Diaz is on that card, and Nate Diaz pulls out a win,
Oh, that's
you
gonna be
know,
mad.
for sure he's gonna call out whoever wins the fight.
Yeah.
So
Also on that,
I don't know who he could fight though,
who Nate
but
Diaz could fight? I don't know. Just give him anybody. Give him Jose Masvidal again. Let's run that back.
I think yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I would be down to see that again.
Yeah, me too. Put the BMF title on the line, though. Make it more fun. And that if he
Mm-hmm.
puts the BMF title on the line, that'll be one of three title fights on the card. You have the Colby Usman rematch. You have the Masvidal Diaz rematch, and you have a third fight that'll be taking place between Alexandra Pantoja and the champion, the current bantamweight champion, in Brandon Moreno. Interestingly enough, Alexandra Pantoja beat Brandon Moreno twice already, once by submission and once by points or decision. Yeah, so it's mad to see if all these three fights do end up taking place on the same card in December. It's gonna be one wild Christmas. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. Honestly, those three fights alone would do numbers, and anything involving ETLs would do numbers regardless. So we have a good three pay-per-views to look forward to, and just to throw it in there, we have Peter Yan and
Aljamain
Aljamain
Sterling,
Sterling running it back in October. So
interesting
yeah,
stuff.
we have three good title fights coming up.
You talked about numbers and doing numbers. Somebody who's doing numbers right now is Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's talking about run down his contract. What's up with that?
So Sean O'Malley said earlier this week here, he said, basically I have no interest in fighting any ranked opponents right now. I'll get paid the same because of my current contract. So he decided he's not going to fight any ranked opponents. He's not going to waste that night that he has around him and
Mm,
potentially lose. And then he gets like a smaller contract. He's going to run out that contract and negotiate for a bigger one. Go up and fight somebody like maybe Cody Garbrandt or up front, somebody in the upper echelon of the bantamweight division, and we'll see what happens there. Like I think he clears out most of the top five, most of the top 10.
yeah, I could back that as well
So
once his ankle holds up.
yeah, we can back that. But
Yeah.
like, what do you
But
think about it? Do you think he should fight around the opponent now, or do you think he should
I
hold on to his
think
contract?
I think just based on the kind of guy Sean O'Malley seems to be, I think he should. I don't think this method he's trying to do, where he wants to run out this one contract and get a big fat payday for his second contract. I don't think that's a good idea for him because I think once he gets that fat contract, he knows he's gonna get paid, so he's gonna become really calm, really complacent, and he's gonna get lazy, and he's not gonna have that same drive, that same determination that he once had to, grind, make it to the top, be rich, be famous. Similar to Conor McGregor, actually. So yeah, I think if he does do this and he does take that massive pick, that massive second contract, which he rightfully deserves because he's been a highlight show. But I think once he gets that big fat contract, he's gonna get a little complacent, a little lazy, and his record might suffer from that. His fighting might suffer from that. So I don't think it's a good idea and this method of approach. But he could also prove me wrong, and I've been proven wrong multiple times before.
Yeah, I agree. But like at the same time, I could see it from his perspective. Like I could see why he would want to run the contract. Um, the UFC has a history of paying their fighters very poor. So yeah, I could see his side, but like regardless, I don't really have an issue with it. I feel like he should do that and secure that bag because
Yeah, for
you never
sure.
know when your career can be over. You never know when you can snap your ankle.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
always back people getting their bag, dog. So go get your bag, Sean. But I hope his career doesn't suffer from it. But
and speaking of careers and moving up in divisions, we
well,
could also look at Jared Cannonier and Calvin Gastelum.
I was gonna transition it completely different. I was gonna say, speaking of paying people badly, Jared Cannonier said he's broke, so he wants to fight immediately. But before that, he did obviously go through Kevin Gastelum in this main event of the fight card that just took place and ended about 2 hours ago. So give me a quick rundown about that card now. What happened in that main
So
event?
I feel like this was a really good fight for him. He like if you look at the fights, you'd see Gastelum pressuring him, and like one thing I noticed about him, he never let his back up against the fence. He always like circled out and got back in the center of the octagon. And I feel like that's key if you're gonna fight somebody like the current middleweight champion Israel
Is
Adesanya.
he? That's my
And
boy.
that's what he's aiming for. He's eventually aiming to fight him. He's ranked number 3 right now.
To lose him, I
I
mean.
Yeah, I would like to see him move up. Maybe he might be number 2 come Monday.
Who's
But
number 2 right now?
yeah, it was a good solid fight. Uh,
Costa's number 2.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, Costa's number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good solid fight. He won what four out of the 5 rounds.
Mhm.
He actually hurt Gastelum, and
Yeah,
speaking of
yeah.
Gastelum has a chin on him.
Yeah, nah, it's mad. Like the commentators mentioned, he has never been knocked out in any of his fights. I believe it's 26 professional fights, so never been knocked out. That is a crazy, crazy stat, and especially when you consider the guys he's fought. He fought Israel Adesanya, he fought Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier. He's fought a lot of really good, really high quality guys, and yes, he may have come out on the short end, but he didn't get knocked out, which is, it's a plus at the end of the day to not get stopped by those guys.
Yeah, his performance could have been better. I feel like
Definitely.
he could have shot for takedowns a little bit more. He wasn't checking those leg kicks at all in this fight. I believe like almost at the end of the first round, his leg was red. Just from and swollen just from those leg kicks that he ate. But kudos to Cannonier for pulling out that win. It was a dominant win, if I'd say so. He only lost 1 round, and it was a very, very close round. And he hit Gastelum about 3 or 4 times total within that fight. So, it was a really, really good performance from him. I liked what I saw. I liked his striking, his movements. Everything looked clean and quick. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Israel Adesanya fights Whittaker, and then we'll see who he decides to fight. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this performance?
Yeah, absolutely dominant performance. Bar that second round, I believe, was the only round he lost. But yeah, all around great performance from Jared Cannonier. He stopped the takedowns, although there was one where he kind of took him down, but he bounced right back up to his feet, and he was able to do all the right things, make the smart decisions, and get the win at the end of the day. There was that one big shot, I believe, in the third round that dropped Kevin Gastelum, and in the replay, it looked like he literally like got knocked out, and as soon as he hit the floor, he woke back up and like rebooted immediately. So yeah, credit to Kevin Gastelum for hanging in there, but he just wasn't enough for the end of the day, and Jared Cannonier did the right things, kept it basic, kept it fundamental, and got the win. So yeah, can't say anything else about that. Who do
Yeah.
you think not Kevin Gastelum, Jared Cannonier will fight next? Because
Um,
I believe you have Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya fighting next. I believe that's kind of almost basically confirmed. You have Paulo Costa going to fight Marvin Vettori, the second and fourth ranked middleweight. So it kind of leaves Jared Cannonier in a weird position. Who does he fight next? Because the top four guys already have their own pairs up. They already paired up to fight already. So who's he fight next?
um, Honestly, I'm looking at like Sean Strickland,
Mm.
or maybe
Didn't Sean
I
Strickland
would like to see
lose?
Darren Till,
No, he
but
won
like
last
I
week.
know Darren Till had a fight booked recently, and I believe he pulled out because he had an injury.
Oh.
But I wouldn't mind seeing him and Sean Strickland go at it, or even him and Derek Brunson.
Mhm.
But those are really the only 2 guys I would really be interested in seeing him fight. I don't really want to see him fight a lower ranked opponent. I don't want to see him fight number 10
Mhm.
or 11 in Uriah Hall and Edmund Shabatian.
Mhm.
But yeah, those are the 2 fighters that I think he should fight, or should fight next, since he says he wants to get back in there as soon as possible. So
Yeah, I think the Sean Strickland fight is a really good fight, especially considering what Sean Strickland did, I believe, last week in his main event fight against Uriah Hall. So yeah, he really showed his heart, showed his determination, showed he's a really great fighter. So yeah, I think that Jared Cannonier and Sean Strickland is the next match to make there.
yeah, well, I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover
Yeah,
within here.
yeah. One
So,
thing,
any final thoughts?
um, Khabib out to place, Conor and Bisping having kicks. That fight card, I hope it happens in December. It'll make a really good December. Sean O'Malley should run on his contract, and yeah, Jared Cannonier to the basics, right? What are your final thoughts?
Honestly, I agree with everything that you said there, I think they summed it up perfectly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
yeah, we'll wrap
Yes.
it
So
there.
to wrap it up there. But check out all the other videos. There's UFC content, basketball content, football content. I'm gonna try to make a lot more videos soon. I have two more assignments that are due next week Friday, and after I have some more free time. So yeah, more videos coming soon. Reggie, if you have anything else you want to say?
No, you basically covered it there. Big up everybody who tuned in and watched, clicked and watched any of your videos, especially last week's one. Last week's one was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Some big topics in that one.
Yes. Check it. So
So
check it out
yeah,
if you haven't yet. But that's been it here from me, guys, and Rajiv. Be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe, all the good stuff. Follow Rajiv's page on Instagram, counterstrike.mma. Content coming there very soon. And yeah, guys, that's been it here from us. We'll see you soon.